Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill, and today we are going to take a look into the bond tanks. What we can buy, what is worth it, what is definitely not worth it, and overall what is the good choice and when you should buy the tanks. So first of all, how are you finding the bond store? You are clicking on the store, you are clicking on the last option, items for bonds, and this is what you have. Pretty much we have from the tier 10s to the lower tier tanks down to the tier 5, right? But the most important thing is, in my humble opinion, is the tier 8s because those are making credits, right? At least this is how I look into this. Clarification, none of the tier 10 tanks are making credits over there. I know many of you know that, but if someone is newer player into the game, he will think, oh, I will get the tier 10 premium tank. No. It is a special vehicle and it doesn't make credits. And in my humble opinion, there is two tanks which are worth considering, which is M60 and 121B. I do not really think Fava, Foch, or 113 Bo are worth considering. The main reason why 113 you can buy from the Chinese tech tree. The Foch 155, it's purely meme tank. Usually it is not competitive one and it is pure for meming, 750 alpha damage, 3 in the magazine. But what's from that if you are hitting one, especially over the bigger distance? It's just not good. And Fava is like literally weaker version of the Super Conqueror in every possible shape and form. So why to get this tank for yourself? It's just, it's dead vehicle in the game, in my opinion. So now we have two tanks, right? We have M60 and we have 121B. In my opinion, M60 is better than the Patton. I was always thinking that Patton is better, but M60 has better gun handling, it's faster, but it has tiny touch, lower amount of the armor, and yet still you can bounce once in a while whenever someone is misaiming your cupola. There is a big chance he won't penetrate you. And let's not forget the 350 hits. It is absolutely glorious and it is amazing. Where the gun goes, there is absolutely nothing bad to say about this vehicle, truly. The gun handling is very, very accurate, and 350 hits would shred many tanks. As an example, if you would compare that to the standard Patton, it has 330 hits, so 20 more penetration. Now, talking about 121B, there is two versions of this tank. There is 121B, obviously, and there is Monkey King. Those are the two versions, right? Monkey King, obviously, you cannot buy it. It's some sort of special tank, but it is existing, and I'm just letting you know. And 121B is the same situation. It's quite accurate tank, in my opinion, although it is burning quite often frontally, if I remember this correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do. Although, once again, very, very nice penetration with a gold 350. Both of those tanks are good, and both of those tanks can be bought, Now, moving on next, let's go to the premium tank category and let's talk about the tanks which are worth it, right? Because I think there is a list of the tanks which are definitely worth to consider, and there is tanks which everyone should avoid, and it's just simply not worth it, and there is significantly better tanks. So you know what? Let's start everything from the tanks to avoid overall, and to stay the heck away from them, right? Especially for bonds. So first things first, Schmutz. It is not a horrible tank, but it's nothing extraordinary, it's nothing special. It is, in the best case scenario, average tank, and I would just simply recommend to avoid this vehicle. It's not worth it. We have Patton Care. Avoid Patton Care. It is just not a great tank. It is outdated pile of poo-poo, and it doesn't really have too much things to offer, even though I like this tank, but I do not recommend for anyone to take it. Estarva 81. Please avoid the Starva 81. It is just not a great tank. I mean, it's kind of like Centurion Tier 8 Tech 3 tank, but it's not worth it. Trust me on this one. After that, we have IS-6B, which I truly recommend to avoid. I don't really think this tank is that awesome or that epic nowadays. Even though, yes, it can work. Yes, it is a lower tier destroyer, but whenever you are meeting someone with a decent penetration, you are saying, kill, 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 and that's it. IS-5, literally unplayable tank in my humble opinion, because the gun of this tank is just that bad. It's not worth it. It is just not a great vehicle. Moving on next, Alpine Tiger. Alpine Tiger is absolutely pile of caco as well. The main reason why am I highlighting this, because the gun of this tank is just a problem. And even though the tank is looking real nice, I mean, take a look into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful vehicle, fellas. Visually, it is like a candy you want to eat, okay? Look, there is a tiger in the bushes and everything. Holy bananas, what an art and what a style. Yeah, what's from that if the tank is just simply not really worth it, right? And overall, speaking about the lower tiers, avoid every and each lower tier tank, and the main reason why am I saying so is because it's not worth it. Let's say if this tank costs 4,000 bonds or whatever that is, it's better to save 8,000 and to get something more decent for yourself. Does it make sense? So don't spend the bonds on the lower tiers unless you are a collector and you are collecting everything, right? Or unless... there is no unless. Honestly, okay. If you cannot stand the higher tier gameplay, then you can consider this. But other than that, it's just simply not worth it and it's waste. Now, obviously, one more thing to highlight. When do you want to buy the bond tanks? If you have your favorite premium tanks already in the game, I don't really think you need to take a look into the bond vehicles, right? I just don't think it is necessary. But in the same time, if you are a relatively newer player, you just got your 8,000 bonds or 10,000 bonds, whatever you got, and you do not have premium tanks, this is the moment whenever you need to make a decision. And it's not even discussable, is it better to take the bond equipment, because you can take the bond equipment for bonds, or alternatively to take the tank, take the tank. 100% tank will bring you significantly more use. Now when we have all trash out of the way, let's go to the each of tank and let's talk which tanks are worth it. Black Dog. In my humble opinion, Black Dog is pretty nice. It is not your typical light tank, because where the spotting goes, it is very, very hard to spot with this tank just because of ELC events, of Ferraris, of LT432s. As a spotter, it's not good, but as a damage maker, it is absolutely glorious and it's awesome. It has very, very good high explosive penetration, and it is just simply a good tank all around, in my opinion. Well, apart spotting, you will get outspotted by others. On the other hand, Shitluck. Shitluck isn't the best damage maker, but it has ability to spot. So let's say if there is two tanks over there, I think Shitluck would win the spotting race against the M41. Although M41 would beat the living crap out of Shitluck when shooting high explosives. Also, one more thing to highlight about the Shitluck. Shitluck has extremely good high explosive penetration as well, and it is not a bad vehicle by any shape or any form. If you would take a look at it, high explosive penetration is 280, or I suppose to say damage is 280, and penetration is 90, which isn't bad thing, although the standard alpha damage is 180, which is definitely lower end. And now if we would take a look into the Black Dog, with a Black Dog you have 320 alpha damage, 102 millimeters of penetration, and the standard ammunition is also way better. So you need to make a decision in this way, right? After that, we have a Chinese Bulldog. It's pretty much very, very similar to the tank of the of American Bulldog M41, which you can find in the Tech 3. If it happened to be that you love the M41 Bulldog, I believe you are going to love Chinese Bulldog as well. That's all I have to say about this. Now, let's go through the tanks which I would consider taking, right? Medium tanks it is. Guard. I always underrated guard, and I felt like this tank, no, what is the point of the guard? Neither you are a medium tank, neither you are the sniper. The gun of the guard just works, and whenever you are top tier, you can go in front and you can try to play hold down and you can try to side scrap. It is not a bad tank. Plus on top of that, this 390 alpha damage is actually pretty sweet and pretty nice. Plus you have quite a bit of the camo, so if necessary you can even mount the CVS and whatnot and be a spotter if there is no other light tanks, right? Or if there is no lights in the game. Absolutely glorious vehicle. I think it is very underrated tank. Now, Lorraine 40T. Lorraine 40T is a good tank, right? Don't get me wrong, it is a good tank, but it is extremely hard to play. Nowadays, every and each mother trucker has intuition. That means you will get spammed with high explosives. You are humongous as a barn, you are a huge target, Arta will penetrate you and whatnot. Obviously, it comes with one good feature, and that is you have autoloader. So you can pretty much clap enemies 4 times and then try to escape for 30 seconds and after that do it again. Not an amazing, not an easy tank to play with, but looks like community loves this tank. Definitely not beginner friendly tank. Definitely not beginner friendly, fellas. Moving on, next, T-34-3. Now, you could compare those tanks together, Guard versus T-34. T-34 has more armor, definitely more armor than Guard does, but it has way worse gun handling, in my opinion. I mean, sure, you can hit the shots, you cannot say this is that dreadful or that horrible, but the gun handling is a bit of the problem. So with this tank, you want to go, if with a guard you want to stay somewhere second lane or sniper schnitzel, with this tank you want to go in front and you want to try to be the living crap out of the enemies face to face, right? That's what you want to do. Plus on top of that, you have 250 hits, which isn't bad by any shape or any form, so this could be worth consideration. And I know community loves this tank as well for some reason. I'm not a big fan of this vehicle. I mean, okay, I understand. Get close, tank, slap someone for 390, enjoy your life. Probably this is how the things are looking like. Mr. Cover 5. Cover 5 is the memester tank, if I can say so. What do I mean by saying this is Cover 5 just simply... People are playing for memes with it. People are getting humongous speed, you know, going down the hill and ramming someone. That's good, that's fine, that's enjoyable. After that, I mean, this is where the fun is kind of ending. Sure, the armor is trollish of the Cover 5, right? But let's get real. Most of the guys understand that where you want to shoot this vehicle is straight into the booba. And there is 2 of them. So it is, I never struggle to penetrate Cover 5. I literally never struggle, but, you know, some people might. All in all, it has, like I said, trollish armor and it has a meme potential. I know some people hate it and some people are saying it's the best tank in the world of tanks. You know, it depends on you. For me, it's meh. You can take it or not, it's up to you. The highlight, to be said, this tank has a special pref matchmaking. The T-34-3 has pref matchmaking, right? I think this is a very, very important thing to highlight, right? Moving on next, Cover 4 Kreslevsky. Now, as ugly as this vehicle looks from outside, it is cute and magnificent mother trucker from inside. If you love your Cover 4, right? If you love your Cover 4, you will love... there is a big chance you will love Cover 4 Kreslevsky. It has the same gun, and both of the guns are super duper hyper turbo accurate, at least in my humble opinion. I think it is absolutely glorious, and it just simply works as a tank. You can be aggressive with it, and if the matchmaking is bad, you can snipe from the back with your beautiful 289 penetration if you hit ammunition. I mean, there is nothing to complain about this tank. And yes, it might not be the prettiest tank in the show, but it just does the job, and it is not a bad vehicle by any shape or any form. moving on, next Chrysler. Now Chrysler is an interesting one because this tank is pretty much created purely for side scrapping, in my humble opinion. Unless you are getting a low tier matchmaking, then you can go in front like crazy mother trucker. That's about it. This is a side scrapper tank. And fellas, keep this in mind. If you want to see more about one or another vehicle, just simply go to the index page and you will find the YouTube videos to the right side corner. This is just a reminder for you, okay? So with a Chrysler, there is one highlight which I want to say with a Chrysler. Where the Chrysler goes, the standard penetration is poo-poo. What that means? That means you might need to spam the gold quite often just because, 198 millimeters of penetration in the tier 8s whenever you are meeting defenders and whatever else. You will meet the same Chrysler, you won't penetrate it frontally. All you will need to do, you will need to shoot the gold. And that is a bit of the problem. But other than that, if you are side scrapping with it, I believe you are going to be fine and you are going to enjoy yourself, right? If this is your play style. Moving on, next we have Patriot. Patriot lately got buffed. I think it is alright tank if you like T32 and overall you enjoy playing hold down. The best part of the Patriot, in my humble opinion, is that ammunition is dirt cheap. It's like so cheap. Look at this. 255 credits for one shell. If you are digging into the gold, yeah, it's a bit of the stinker situation. But other than that, 255. You are throwing literally cents to the enemies, right? And it works. You can play hold down. You are quite flexible. It is not a bad vehicle by any shape or any form. At least this is how I look into all of this. The gameplay purely stay hold down, show your face only, and make pressure whenever it's beneficial for you. Now, Liberty. In my opinion, Liberty is one of the more underrated vehicles nowadays as well. Skill, I do not get it. In the previous review, you said Liberty is bad. Exactly, but Wargaming buffed Liberty. This is the main reason why I'm remaking this video. Liberty got buffed. I played with it lately and I actually loved it. I enjoyed it, and believe me or not, I think it is quite beginner friendly as well, because all you need to understand is not to side scrap. Don't side scrap, and keep this in mind, you have cupola. So whenever you are peeking corner, you are trying to bait the shots like this. Let's say there is a corner here, you are just making a different angle so enemies won't penetrate you. It's significantly easier to play than Patriot is, and in my opinion, it is pretty glorious tank. Ammunition though is more expensive, although it has tiny touch bigger alpha damage, right? But overall, this is, in my opinion, excellent beginner-friendly tank. It truly is. It's not that hard to play with it, and it is pretty awesome. Moving on, next we have the last tank which we want to talk about, and it is Trash 103. Now, where the Trash 103 goes, there is no in-between. Either people love it, either people hate it. The main reason why so... This tank has amazing gun, okay? The gun of this mother trucker is awesome, especially if you are making a decision to load the gold, and with the standards to have pretty much 260 penetration, that's awesome, okay? It truly is. Turret has a bit of the armor as well, which is nice against the lower tiers, but the camo of this tank is non-existent. It's like elephant trying to hide somewhere near the tree by being 5 times bigger than the tree is, or you get the point what I'm saying, right? It's just this is the problem of the tank. You cannot treat this as oh yeah, I'm sneaky mother trucker. No, in a way, from what I noticed, most of the professional Trash 103 players, they are going in front together with the heavies, and they are trying to beat the living crap out of enemies in this way. Although, you can snipe as well if you are not going to get spotted. Good luck with that whenever you have a humongous barn like this. But other than this tank can be a credit printer just because of the standard ammunition. It is just a good tank, and I remember I underrated this vehicle back in the day, and then I tried to play it again for Mark of Excellence and whatnot, and I saw the things in the different light. And obviously it has some things to do with Scorpiani yelling on me on the stream to play with this tank and not to call it Trash 103. Treasure, he says. Treasure. Anyways, enough of the inside jokes, fellas. This is what I have for you today. I hope that made your life tiny touch easier which tank to choose and which tank not to choose. Obviously, I would recommend to check out index page as well if you want to see deeper review. There is plenty of the videos with Trash 103, Guard and whatnot. I hope this will help you, and I hope you are going to spend your bonds properly. And now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a great time and see you very, very soon. Skill is out for today. Peace.